1970. My mom moves to Fort Walton Beach from Okinawa, where Mamazons made dresses for her dollies and cut down yard snakes for soup. She brags about eating cocoa-covered ants. This is the summer a man will break into her room and almost rape her. She ignores the war mostly. She likes to string jewelry. Her father is an officer in the Air Force. Her mother finds birth control in a drawer. The pills are her sister's, but she will be called the whore. I hate my mother most for not naming blame. If not for her, I'd never be a poet. She's who put me in this blue dress lit on fire, taught me to speak not of the burning, but how pretty the dress is. 1970 is when I'd most like to have known her. She says Florida is where I was most happy. I say, "Watch, Ma." As I twirl, the flames lift up. December 1980. The Gospel of Judas is stolen from a male antiquities dealer. The heist is organized by a woman with well-manicured nails. She runs her reds under the purple lining of his jacket. He lets her take photos of his entire collection. He poses next to the locked door. Judas sold Jesus for 30 silver pieces and/or a kiss. As a trader, my bets are on the long-shot kiss. It is my only chance at winning. Mark D. Chapman has just finished catching children from jumping off of cliffs when he decides to take a trip to New York. He is tired of everyone looking towards the wrong light. John Lennon is no Jesus. No, sir. The phony's got to go. Yes, sir. I break into this world while my mother is working in an antique shop. I christen a Victorian rug with embiotic fluid. The old is stained new. No one yet has read the Codex. No one knows it's Judas howling in that papyrus. The antiquities dealer gets the scrolls back. The woman disappears. What are the chances that gunshots are synchronized, bullets organized into choirs to make harmonies of this world? I want to believe we are mimics of the divine. John Lennon accepts Chapman's kiss with gratitude. All is done in, with, and for love. Judas is locked in a safety deposit box in Hicksville, New York, rotten humidity eating chunks out of his words. A gun is grown into the flesh of Chapman's hand. John Lennon bleeds on the steps of the Dakota. I recognize color for the first time, my eyes focused on Mother's light. Jesus says, "Forgive you if you forgive me." Judas says, "Forgiven you, but I won't forgive me." Jesus says, "Well, we'll just have to keep this show going then." Mother says, "I didn't mean to burn you. I'm too young to understand. Language. Fire is a verb substitution for love." The tree Judas chose was some ornamental thing, shape of a kidney, flowers veining over its short red and twisted trunk. Spent his morning watching the long-tongued carpenter bees suckle its blossoms. As the rosebud wept its violet blooms, he caught the drops in his mouth, bruised their petals with his teeth, searching for that hushed light, ate until his stomach ached from the bitter juices. Lips stained blue, he began to vomit a mellifluent river. The ground softened by his currents turned to flesh. He built a body from this golden earth, a face that resembled Jesus. Before he could kiss the honey lips, a swarm of flies began to drink the shape away, their wings shining like silver coins tossed into the air. He devoured them in an attempt to taste sweetness. When he jumped, his soul broke into 1,000 pieces, an army of snake flies humming, a chorus of apologies dying in small increments, like a lesson in letting go, learned one fall at a time. Unlikely Origins and the Book of Mormon. Chapter 1. Where'd that angel fly off to? The golden plates went missing. This should be easy enough to understand. The most sought things are often slippery. Needless to say, if God made them, the polish would be perfect. Slick as sliced spam in your hands. Cut Joseph a break. He'd just seen angels, and from what I've heard, celestials work in symbols and archetypal images. In other words, they are what can be remembered. Chapter 2. Angels as plague or pleasure. You choose. Joseph lost them. Just as the stone tablets were misshuffled in a pile of Judaic to-do list, most likely shredded by lightning to prevent identity theft. Interesting to me is how angels are constantly dividing and redividing themselves, like cells, the rebellious ones as cancer refusing to die. And just like cartoons, they are many and more, the best getting their own amusement parks with mascot imitations for photo ops. Chapter 3. The closest I've come to being an angel. Wanting to understand furries, I rented a chicken costume to have sex with my husband. I was perched on the sink flapping mad. He penetrated twice before losing his heart-on, the whole thing as damaging as imagining sex with his mother. I've always wondered how my parents conceived me, my mother hating to be touched. I was in awe of the children who accidentally walked in on their mom's spread eagle, saw firsthand the bushfire once worn as a crown. Chapter 4. Renaming Angels. Prophet Smith's favorite seraph, the macaroni-colored one, known as the burning one, he renamed Moroni, archangel in charge of unleashing the universal conflagration. Joseph had an odd sense of fun, playing checkers with his wives by candlelight, all confused as to whose turn it was to go against him. Chapter 5. I choose. If angels were sold as furry plush toys, hands down, I'd pick Azrael, he who causes the realm of thought to fall into the world of paper, like the making of a religion, all possible. Let's say feathers and checkers are acts of salvation, forever and ever. Amen.